Hi there, friends. I'm Tessa from Simply Earth, and today we're diving into one of the most important topics when it comes to soap making, lye safety. If you've been dreaming of making cold process soap from scratch, but have been feeling a little nervous about working with lye, don't worry. I'm here to walk you through it all. What is lye, and why is it so important in soap making? So let's start with the basics. What exactly is lye? Well, lye, also known as sodium hydroxide, is a strong alkaline substance. It's used in all sorts of industries, from water treatment to cleaning products, and believe it or not, it's even used in making bagels. In soap making though, lye's job is to go through a process called saponification, which is a fancy word for turning oils into soap. Without it, we couldn't have those beautiful bars of soap we love to make. Lye comes in different forms: flakes, pellets, and powder. At Simply Earth, we use flakes because they're easier to measure and have way less static cling. Once your soap is made, it needs to cure for 4 to 6 weeks to make sure the pH level is low enough to be gentle on all skin types. Your soap may feel hard enough to use after just a couple of days, but you need that curing time to make sure it's safe, even for sensitive, like child skin. A common question I get is, do I have to use lye to make soap? And here's the thing, if you want to make soap from scratch, then yes, you do need the lye. There's really no substitute for it. But if you want to avoid working with lye altogether, you can always go for a melt and pour option, which is already saponified and ready to use. This is a great option if you're just getting started or if you're not quite comfortable with lye. But if you want to make your soap from scratch and customize all of your ingredients, lye is the way to go. And just like driving a car, lye is pretty safe to use as long as you follow all of the rules. First things first, safety gear. When you're working with lye, you need to make sure that you protect yourself. Here's what you need: long sleeves and long pants, closed-toed shoes, gloves, and goggles. And yes, even if you wear glasses, you still need goggles over them. You only get one pair of your beautiful eyes in this lifetime, so protect them. Now, lye doesn't just react with oils. When you mix it with water, it gets really hot, and the steam can irritate your lungs and mucous membranes. So it's important to work in a well-ventilated space. You can either work in a room with good airflow, set up a fan, or open a window. If you're extra cautious, wear a mask or respirator. Some soap makers even mix their lye outdoors. Whatever works best for you to keep things safe and breathable. Next, let's talk about your workspace. You want a clean, quiet area where you won't be interrupted. This means no kiddos running around and no pets underfoot. Make sure you have about 45 minutes of uninterrupted time to make and clean up after your soap batch. It's super important that the tools and containers you use for soap making are only for soap making. Never use them for food. Now, when it comes to containers and tools, you want to make sure that they're safe for lye. Here's what you need: heat-safe glass, plastic, silicone, or stainless steel. Avoid tin and aluminum. These react with the lye and create toxic gases. And don't use wood because it can splinter and get into your soap. Once you've used something for soap making, it should stay in your soap making area. Don't use it for food or any other crafts or DIYs. When you're making soap, measuring the right amount of lye is key. At Simply Earth, every recipe comes with precise measurements, so you know exactly how much lye to use. If you're experimenting with your own recipes, use a lye calculator to find out the right amount based on the oils you're using. The most important rule: add the lye to the water, not the other way around. Listen up, I'm going to say it again. This is the biggest rule to remember when making soap. You always add the lye to the water, never the other way around. If you add water to the lye, it can cause a dangerous reaction that leads to a big mess or even an explosion. So be safe and add the lye slowly to your water, never the other way around. Measure your lye in a separate container from your liquids. This way you can double check your measurements and make sure everything is perfect. Once you have your lye, store it safely. Here's how. Keep it in a sealed, airtight container. Store it in a cool, dry place. Label it clearly as caustic or poison, and make sure it's out of reach of children. Lye absorbs moisture from air over time, so you want to keep it sealed to prevent it from becoming heavier and harder to work with. Simply Earth's packaging has a child-safe cap, so you don't have to worry about finding a special container at home. Sometimes, even with all the best of precautions, you might get a little lye on your skin. If that happens, here's what you need to do. Rinse the area with cool water for at least 15 minutes. If you get lye in your eyes, flush them immediately for 15 minutes and then seek medical attention. And do not put vinegar on a lye burn. Vinegar can actually make it worse by causing a reaction that heats up the skin. Just rinse with water, that's all you need. Cleaning up is important. Here's how I do it. Wipe away any soap remnants with a paper towel. Wash your tools with hot water. If you have any leftover soap, don't put it in the dishwasher. It will foam up and clog everything. Just wash by hand. And finally, if you're working on a delicate surface, wood for example, make sure to protect your countertop from any lye splashes. Lay down newspaper, cardboard, anything else to keep your work area safe. If you're working on a countertop that can't be damaged, like stainless steel, you're good to go. So that's it. You now have all the info you need to work safely with lye. I'm confident that with these tips, you're ready to make your very first batch of cold processed soap safely. I'd love to see your creations, so be sure to share them with us on social media using #SimplyEarth and #IMadeThis. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe so you never miss a new Simply Earth tutorial. See you in the next video.